there was an issue where I got accused of being a thief at that point, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I left the company, and which is a shame because I mean I've got a lot of sins to pay for, but that's not a sin. Those sins aren't mine, and I always said, doesn't matter how many people believe a lie, it doesn't make it true.
Why do you think you were accused of that? And do you think it was somebody else that was just kind of throwing all the blame on
Well,
you for whatever reason?
well, what was happening is I guess there was some jewelry and money was going missing in the locker rooms, and I wasn't even aware of the crap. And then what happened was we were over in England, and me and Terry and Big Cat, which was what was his name, Mr. Hughes, we were sharing a dressing room in Sheffield, England. And the guys knew I didn't have a credit card up until well, I just got my credit card right there before we were going to England. I'd done what we'd done is me and Johnny B. Bad and what's his name? Uh, Jim Ross. Jim Ross. We all had to go to England. We went to England and did the pre-show interviews and stuff like that, and it went pretty good, right? And so we had to come back and we filmed some TVs in Georgia. And I went by my house, and then I had a secured credit card, so I had my secured credit card with me. So when I got over to England and stuff like that, we did two shows in London. Those went well. I worked with Rude and a couple other guys. I worked with Rude and Luger, one for the U.S. title and one for the heavyweight title. And then we went up to Sheffield, and that night in Sheffield, when we were at the show, Terry's money went missing, and my money went missing. And so Terry came up to me and says, "Dude, do you see anybody go in the dressing room?" And I said, "No." And that's when I went in and checked my bag, and I had my money missing. And so I was like, "Fuck." So I was, I was all pissed off. But what could you do? So we ended up. So at that point, after we went back to the bar at the hotel in Sheffield, I was down drinking beer in the hotel bar, and then the next day when I checked out, I put it on my secured credit card, right? Because I mean the company paid for the hotel room, but I paid for my own alcohol, right? So I did that, and so all the boys were acting weird as we were heading over to Ireland and stuff like that. I don't know. Somebody starts a rumor in wrestling, telephone, telegraph, tell a wrestler, and so basically the shit went down. And then when we got back to the States, me and Rude had a little bit of an issue in Atlanta filming the TVs one night, and he ended up giving me a black eye, right? And I had no problem with Rude, and Rude had no problem with me. And there was only about three or four people that in this whole business that actually know the truth about what happened that night. Henning, Paulie Dangerously was one of them, and everybody's kept their mouth shut about their damn crap. And half of the guys that know what was happening are dead. You know what I mean? Henning's dead, and Rude's dead. So there's me and Paulie, and if Paulie can back me up, but what the fuck. And so anyway, yeah, at the end of it, since Rude gave me a black eye, that was a whole thing. It started out, well, I went into Rude's bag. I didn't know where Rude's bag was. You know what I mean? I went into Rude's bag, and that's how the whole thing started. Then I heard all sorts of other stories and shit like that. I mean, my God, it was the Hardy Boys or something. It must be the greatest detectives in the world, man. So it's just, it's just nuts. And like I said, I mean, it's all water under the bridge for me, and I don't give a shit because I mean, God's gonna judge me, but He's not gonna judge me on that shit. That's for sure.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.